or whatever. So naturally, I wanted to know. But when this talk was talking to me, he was saying, "Friend Martin, we have heard of your greatness," but I could feel my heart tightening up. You know, I said, "What's all of this?" And he was saying, I felt something go up my back to my chest and do that to my heart. And I became afraid, and it was going on up to my brainstem. And I was laying there, and he was saying, "We advise you to cease and give not more information upon our form, lest we rend you asunder." I said, I know God is real, and this is a damn lizard. He ain't gonna take me out like this, you know. And so y'all excuse my language now. I know I'm in a sacred place. Anyway, so I started thinking. I said, and then I pictured him getting a spike nail into his head. I pictured a chainsaw whacking him up, and he started loosening up. I pictured a hand grenade stuck in his mouth and blowed it, pulled the pin, you know what I mean? And he said, "Release me." I said, "No, I got you now." Yeah. He said it 3 times. "Release me." Yeah, right. Yeah. You won't do that no more, will you? "Release me." I ain't gonna do it. And I heard Tan say, "Friend Martin, release him. Release him. You know not what you do. Release him." I said, "No, I got him." So I destroyed his brain, or his neural factors. Now, you know why I could do that? Now, if I showed you a tape of Freddy Krueger, it wouldn't mean nothing, would it? You've seen it. If I showed you Ghosties, if I showed you, you understand, Hitman 2 or whatever, it wouldn't mean nothing to you because you've seen these things, but they haven't. I mean, whatever you do to them is literal. And therefore, lay in the secret. If they ever mess with you, call me. Or tell them, "Yeah, you can't get nothing here." You understand? There is no way that these forces can insinuate themselves upon you and make you lesser than your greatness. They cannot strike fear. You cannot cheat nor strike fear into the heart of an honest spirit. Therefore, if they want to try to dog your trail and to put you down, don't go for it because you know who you are. Therein lay your power. Therein lay the glory of that who is you. There's another group of aliens called the Screed. The Screed are intelligent insects. And this is a fact. They are big bugs. Look kind of like praying mantises. Wear breathing apparatus even on the ship. And the foil, translucent foil, covers their tail instead of their head. This is a breathing apparatus. And a young man told me one time, he said some insects breathe, through their tail, thorax. So I didn't even know that. I was wondering, why that was happening. Now the Screed are not here to either interfere with or harm or even abduct you or anything of that nature, simply because we are so far different in thought patterns and physiology and things of this nature, till they don't have to worry about that. In actuality, they can wait, because as time will pass through the eons of time, when we have come and gone through one method or the other, the insects will still inherit the earth. Do you understand? As they have multilineous other planets. So the insects are not in no hurry. They know that ultimately they will go where they want to go, either by design or by default, and what have you. So they are not permitted to harm mankind. Now, witnessing the awesome power that these technologies have, many people will wonder, hey, why don't they come down and say, help us, or either take over, or what have you? The fact is this: if you allowed everyone in the galaxy to go around who has a bigger gun than the other person, taking over that cognizant species, it would set a precedent, and the universe would ultimately deteriorate down into wars and chaos. Therefore, all logical thinking species will not permit such a thing to transpire among others that are moving across the galaxy. So if we go down, it will be by our own hand, not by theirs. We have nothing to fear from the sky, but of course we have a great deal to fear from humanity itself. Yes, they believe there are two faces on Mars, one on this side and one on the other side. 3 pyramids and an installation there. Yet, they believe that when we were able to see this face on Mars, that we would be ready to join the celestial community. Unfortunately, they were wrong. We are not ready yet to join them. There's a 7th form of life. It is the formless thing that fits into a glassine-type tube that levitates around about above the ground. It's a very ancient and very powerful species. I could not ascertain its name, though they gave it to me at one time. During that war I was telling you about above North Africa, some of the ships were injured and they fell on an island. I placed that location at about 100 nautical miles north of Tripoli in what we now call Libya, out in the Mediterranean. You have come to call it perhaps Mu, Atlantis, or what have you. They languished there for thousands of years. Then they began to grow old, and having not the technologies they have today, nor the ability to easily clone themselves because they did not have a genetic pool great enough to recreate themselves like that. They came down, and it is said that they looked upon the daughters of men and found them fair and took of them wives. And their sons became of old great men of renown. Now then, from the time of the first writing, cuneiform writings in ancient Sumeria, down through the Hebrew Kabbalahs, the Hindu Indian Vedas, and things of this nature, you will find that the chronology of different houses will tell you that in those days, some people, say starting from Adam down to Enoch, to Methuselah, to Noah, some people lived 700, 800, 900 years. This was because of that infusion among the people Africanus that was ingrained in the first place. Now, they say, okay, we are genetically close enough to crossbreed. So, okay, what do we do now? Before that time, you see, most human beings upon the earth, if not all, were what you call hunter-gatherers. They moved about with the seasonal rains and with the herds up and down the peninsulas and things of this nature. They followed the herds and they followed the rains. So they did not have what you call static societies, that is, societies in one place. So in order to keep the people in one place, they introduced a grain that you call wheat. This would supply a food base. Then they began to teach the people animal husbandry, agricultural, irrigation, math, astronomy, things of this nature, so that over time, the offsprings of these first, as the generations went along, they were able to raise edifices upon the earth like the great pyramids and others, like the great pyramids of Egypt, you understand, the stone walls down in Zimbabwe, like the great statues in the Valley of the Kings, like the hinge of stone on the European continent, like the pyramids in Yucatan and Mexico and places of this nature, as this knowledge spread out upon the land, and what have you. Thus, there are many, many multilineous people who have within their veins the genetic trait of these original Elohim that came down from Atlantis, that still exists today, you see. No doubt many, if not all of you. Why? Because we suddenly started to flower as civilizations. We suddenly started building stuff that we can't build now. You understand? Even with our great technology now, we're building, they were building stuff then that we cannot build now. So the power was great. The power was one time, out of all of it, when I was watching the chronogenesis of Earth, the history of Earth, I saw the evilness that man can do, the intrigues, the subterfuge, the thievery, the hatred. And I said, oh, what a wretched species, I despair of humankind. I don't know if I want to go back down there. And he said, friend Martin, look into my eyes. And I looked into his eyes. And then I was drawn in. And I found myself feeling the sun beat down upon my head as I stood upon the sands of an ancient land. The river was off in the distance. And I looked to my left and I saw three tall, deeply dark, blue-black men dressed in purple robes, bowing their head towards the east. And I saw the one in the middle down like this, with a trickle of blood running out of this nostril, as he set a 20-ton stone into the east side of the pyramid with the power of his mouth. He said, despair not of your people, child, for there is greatness within thee that has yet to be rediscovered. Go forth and give my words upon the earth. Those who have hearts will feel. Those who have eyes will see. Those who have reason will understand. You understand, because I was saying to him, hey man, I don't have any education, I don't have any sheepskin or no position and things of this nature. But he said, they will understand. And as it is meant to be so, then those who are meant to understand will. Those who don't won't. They wouldn't listen to Noah either, would they? You know, so we do what we can do. The Beovians believe that the earth is in a lot of trouble. Now, this is not based upon, say, visionary workings, a clairvoyance or anything of this nature. This is based upon scientific data. They believe that the earth reached a point of terminal saturation around the year 2000, and that in 2001 things would begin to deteriorate upon the planet and continue to do so if we don't alter the way we do things. This is based upon nuclear waste, poisoning of the water table, cutting of the rainforest, new diseases, wars and rumors of wars, overpopulation, karma, hatred, and things of this nature. And planets do reach points, you know, wherein a total transition transpires. They go through changes. We have the ability, the knowledge, the creativeness, the genius to overcome the storm. We can weather this. For I tell you truly, there's an old saying that says, lay your burdens down. It does not necessarily mean go and get dipped in water or anything. It does not necessarily mean become this religion or that one or this or that. What it means is that the moment I decided that I would love instead of hate, the moment I decided that I would study peace instead of war, the moment I decided that I would be fair instead of unfair, the moment I decided that I would try and go forth upon the earth and offer encouragement instead of deception and hatred and things of this nature. That was the moment I laid my burdens down, you understand. If each and every human upon the earth did this at this moment, there is no limit to what we could do. The entire world would change, even as we speak.